everyone, my name is Preeti. I am pursuing education in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bangalore. Today I am going to explain about dielectric and its types. So let us learn about dielectric. What is a dielectric? Dielectrical are electrical insulators that can store, release energy under an electric field. Dielectrical plays a role in various electrical experiments. So, dielectrical constants of any substance refer to the relative permittivity of the dielectrical substance. Dielectrical have a weak electrical conductivities but possess the ability to store an electrical charge. So, there are several dielectrical materials include vacuum, air, more. The values of a dielectrical constant of some dielectrical materials included for air 1.0059, for glass 3.8 to 14.5, for paper 3.6, for vacuum 1.00, for PVC 4.2. For dielectrical material, example glass, rubber, plastic, etc. So let us learn about types of dielectric materials. There are two types of dielectric materials. One is polar dielectric and non-polar dielectric. In polar dielectric materials, the efficient centers of the negative and positive charge in a molecule do not contact each other and exhibit permanent dipole in the absence of dielectric field are called polar dielectric. Example for polar dielectric H2O, HCl and NH4. Next, let us learn about non-polar dielectric. In some dielectric materials in non-polar dielectric, the effective centers of the negative and the positive charge is the molecule contact each other but do not exit permanent dipole in a absence of electric field. That is known as non-polar dielectric. Example methane, benzene, CH4. In polar, they exhibit permanent dipoles. In non-polar, they do not exhibit permanent dipole. Let us learn about properties of dielectric materials. The energy gap in the dielectric material is very large. The temperature coefficient of resistor is negative and the insulation resistor is high. The dielectric materials have high resistivity and attraction between the electrons and the electrons parent nucleus is very strong. A poor conductor of electricity but an efficient supporter of an electrostatic field. It can store electric charge, have a high efficiency resistance and a negative temperature coefficients of resistors. Capacitor is an vacuum without the dielectric materials to the ratio of the capacitance of the capacitor filled with the given materials to the capacitance of a identical capacitor. In dielectric constant, dielectric materials capacitor is very high, equal to the ratio of the capacitance. Let us learn about application of dielectric materials. Capacitors, transformers, electric storage device. Capacitor is a electric device. Materials are used to insulate between the plates of a capacitor to store energy. Transformer. They are used in a transformer to insulate the winding and prevent energy loss. Electric storage device. Electrical materials are used in a high energy density capacitors and electrolyte in batteries. In application of dielectric materials, the relative permittivity is a permittivity of the materials expressed as the ratio with the electric permittivity of the vacuum. The dielectric is an insulating materials and the dielectric constants of an insulator measure of the ability of to the insulator to store electric energy in the electric field. So next, dielectric constant and its significance. So definition. Dielectrical constant is a measure of the material ability to store charge in an electric field. In dielectric, this is a formula where C is the capacitance of the capacitor, which electric materials, and CO is the capacitance of the same capacitor without the dielectrical material. Significance. It affects the behaviors of capacitors and it critical parameters of the electrical device such as electrical boards. In dielectric materials, they have briefly explained about types of polarization mechanism. In this, there are four types of mechanism. One is ionic polarization and electric polarization, oriental polarization, space charge polarization. So let us know about what is a ionic polarization. This occurs in a ionic dielectrical such as NaCl when the ions are displaced relative to their equilibrium positions in polarization mechanism. Next, electronic polarization. This occurs when there is a shift of electrons from one end of the molecules to another end of the molecules in the presence of an external electric field. Oriental polarization. In polarization mechanism, this occurs when the molecule which of the non-polar dielectric materials orient themselves in an external electric field. In dielectric materials, space charge polarization. This occurs in insulating materials when charged from dipole to the external electric field in a dielectric materials is called space charge polarization. So till now what we learned: dielectric, types of dielectric, applications and significance. Let us know about the summaries. Dielectric are electrical insulators that store and release energy under an electric field. They can be classified into the polar and non-polar dielectric polarization mechanism. There are the four types of polarization mechanism in dielectric materials: electrons polarization, ionic polarization, oriental polarization, and space charge polarization. And third one, dielectric constant. The dielectric constant is a measure of the material ability to store charge in an electric field. It affects the behavior of a capacitor and is a critical parameter in the design of a electrical charge. Applications. Dielectric materials are used in the capacitor, transformers and the electrical storage device such as batteries. So this is which we learn about dielectrics and its types, applications, significance. Thank you.